Okay, so this is just a basic overview of the parts that are inside this carburetor, which just so happens to be the carburetor, or one of the couple different styles that come off this engine, which is the 18 horse twin 2 by Briggs and Stratton. This is the industrial slash commercial engine. And I think this carburetor fits anywhere between like 16 to 18 horse or something. Don't quote me on that, look it up for yourself. But it sits right in there. You got the two intake tubes which come off either side, and breather hose, vacuum line, and then gas line, which is just tucked up right there. Which the vacuum pump on this carburetor is right on the carburetor. On this one, some of these carburetors have the vacuum pump separately, but this one's right on it. So if you take all these parts, all this stuff apart, and forget which piece is what, this is going to be a video for you. So this little screw here, this is the drain bolt for the float bowl, and that is a piece that goes right in that slot right there, right in the center of the screen now. These 4 screws right there, those are for your float bowl to hold it up, the lower and upper assembly together. This right here is your main jet. That goes right under your drain bowl for the float screw. This little screw with the washer on it goes on the side of the carburetor, and that cinches down the housing of the choke cable. These 2 little pointy screws right here, those are for the plate for the butterfly valve on the choke. The single screw right here, these 2 have a little more of a point on them. I guess they're basically the same. But anyways, 2 of them go to the butterfly choke plate, and then the single one goes to the throttle choke plate. These 2 screws right here, they go right through this plastic spacer, which has a gasket on either side, and it goes carburetor, spacer, intake tubes. This right here is your mixture screw, which goes right under your vacuum pump in that little slot right there, the threaded one. And then, of course, you got your 2 little tiny springs here for your vacuum pump. That goes under your throttle cable, or right on the throttle shaft. On here, this is your throttle shaft. This thing actually slips right on here when you put it on, to avoid getting dust and dirt and stuff in there. This is your the main chunk of your vacuum pump. And then you got your back plate, and you got the 3 springs, which is the one right there. This outer piece right here actually goes towards the diaphragm to protect it from the spring's little corner there, so it doesn't poke through and tear it. And of course you got this piece which holds your float bowl into the body. That just shoves right through, right in there. Those 2 little lips gives it a little hinge to rest on. Then you got your needle with the clip, and this is your seat basically in this carburetor. Little brass thing that slides right in there. Mine's good in here, so I'm just going to leave that one in, it's fine. And then, of course, on these rebuild kits, since there are multiple styles, you will have a few different parts that you don't use that go on different types of carburetors. So don't worry about it if you end up with extra parts.